Life. We all have it, but what is it? Or rather, how should our lives be? The purpose of life and its subsequent meaning are questions that we are yet to find the answers to, and most likely never will. So, what do we do in the face of this harsh reality? Well, may I suggest we turn to the Truman Show for a potential answer. Truman Burbank is the archetypal American of his time. Living in a small town with a wife and stable job, Truman's life seems mundane in the best of ways. There is no adversity for him to face. But as time goes on, the fabric of his reality begins to fall apart. Lights fall from the sky, repetition plagues the behaviour of fellow citizens, and his wife starts to act, well, abnormally. In a desperate attempt to escape this, Truman begins to act unpredictably, taking spontaneous road trips to try and get beyond the confines of his community, before disappearing and embarking on a boat. And it is here, at this moment, that Truman gives his answer to the question of what to do with our lives. When we're faced with not knowing our true meaning or purpose, we should act intentionally. Truman's burning bush encounter with Christoph on the boat has the opposite intended effect by the voice in the sky. Rather than remaining the subject to the constant television broadcast that Truman has been a part of for his whole life, he departs the Hollywood studio stairs in that infamous scene, only to enter the black void that lies beyond the door. So, we must ask ourselves, why does he do this? And how does this further help us? Well, play a game of counterfactual history with me, and let's say Truman chose to stay. He would now be aware of the entirely disingenuous nature of the reality with which he is in. Not only would his life continue to be free from issue, but everything he would do would be for the sake of another's ends. He cannot say his actions are wholly genuine at all, for he is performing. He cannot pursue the lost lover and lead a life he actually wants to, or in fact chooses to. Knowing everything he does is for the sake of providing entertainment content for the Truman Show. Instead, he leaves the studio, free from the control of Christoph and the production team. I think this is because Truman knows it is better to live a life with the prospect of pain, loss, hardship, and suffering over the falsehood of perfection. Because if we really, truly want to live, we need to do it intentionally. I'm sure Elizabeth Anscombe would be proud to hear those words. And though we can never free ourselves from every constraint that society places on us, it is the attempt to do so that counts, and it is that very attempt that Truman embarks upon. Much like Plato's cave, the freed man seeks truth. From this truth follows authenticity. The moment you know the images on the wall are mere shadows is the instant you must seek the light. It is from this sense of authenticity that we can begin our search for meaning. But this can only occur when you live intentionally through your actions. So, in humanity's eternal quest to rediscover purpose, be more like Truman and pursue a genuine reality with genuine action. Peter Weir has directed some of my favourite films, from The Truman Show to Dead Poet Society and Master and Commander. And whilst there's plenty to be said about each of these films in and of their own right, with multiple potential videos on those to come, I chose to focus on intentional action particularly here, because, let's be honest, life really, when it comes down to it, is the sum of all your actions. And if those actions can't be genuine or truly intentional, then that has effects on your life. And if you want to live a genuine life, you need to act intentionally. So, I leave you with this. Act intentionally for a better life.